Hey.
Guess who's back?
It's week 10. It's week 10.
Woo! Week 10, 10.2, because we skipped a couple of weeks, I think.
Yeah, like it's 10.1.2.
Yeah. This is your balanced patch. The most balanced podcast you'll ever hear.
With cool new updates and things that have been changed that didn't need to be changed.
Also changes with people that needed changing.
We all need changing, bro.
Oh my goodness. Well, not a lot of people actually go and get that change, let me tell you.
Yeah. But why were we gone, John? Why were we gone for 2 weeks? Tell these fine people your saga, your story.
Okay. So it has been a wonderful last 2 weeks of therapy. For everyone who showed concern, I do want to say, for real, everyone who showed concern and came out with their stories after the fact, thank you. I appreciated all your support and look forward to your support in the future, because it's not like a daily thing. This is like a thing that's actually going to be like for the rest of my life, because I actually admitted to my actual issue of what the doctor called major depression, like MDD. It's like some depression disorder.
Yeah.
So, oh God, what day was it? I think it was Friday, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it might have been Thursday.
Maybe Thursday or Friday.
I think you sent me that message on Thursday that you were going up there.
Oh yeah. Well, like I went into work on that fucking day, whatever, and I logged on and like my depression just hit like an all-time low, the lowest that it's hit for years, and I just broke down into tears and I couldn't work, like could not operate at all. I tried to force myself for like an hour and I did like 6 claims. I called my boss sobbing, just like, I can't work today and I can't do this. I go downstairs, I sit on my couch, I'm just staring at the ceiling fan for like an hour. Just contemplating suicide, contemplating death, contemplating everything.
Those intrusive thoughts.
Yeah, and like it was really funny, because when I actually first went into admitted myself, one of the first things that they told me was that there's a difference between not wanting to live and wanting to die. And I was at that point right in between, like about to cross over
on
to
the
wanting
line.
to die.
Okay.
Yeah, it was actually kind of scary when you think about it, because I mean I was just like sitting there for hours, and so I just started drinking at like 10, didn't stop till like 11. Went through like a whole bottle of vodka and just shit, like I don't even think I was mixing with it, just straight shots out of the bottle. And I woke up the next day and I just did it again. Just started the day. Only that time I started around like noon, and because I was just in bed like all morning, didn't want to get out. Noon comes around and I just start drinking again. Don't eat, don't do nothing, just start drinking. Like 6 o'clock that evening, my dad's car broke down.
Oh no.
And he's like, "Do you have jumper cables?" I'm like, "Yeah." "Can you bring them to me?"
Okay.
Yes. Luckily, it was right up the street where he broke down. But as soon as I get out of the car, I pull up and he's at the bottom of the hill, and I pull up on top of the hill. So a 2-day drinking binge, walking down the hill holding jumper cables to a father who is a nurse. It looks pretty obvious what's going on. You want to talk about an actual test to see how a driver is, how sober they are. Put them on a hill and see what happens.
On the decline.
Oh yeah, baby.
Specifically.
Yeah, that decline, boy, that was tough. I was able to avoid every anthill, but as soon as I got to the bottom, he's like, "Your eyes are cloudy. Have you been drinking?" I'm like, "Yeah."
Yeah, a lot.
And he says, "How much?" I'm like,
"A lot." 21
too
Savage.
much, I think is the word.
A lot.
Yeah, too much. And he's like, "Why are you drinking?" I'm like, "I don't know. I just really don't feel like I need to stop." And so he's like, "You need to go and get help." And I'm like, "Okay, but let's get your car jumped off first." My friend Paul comes by. He actually brings like a little jump box and jumps my father off, and I go back home. He sends me a fucking text message the next day. and it's like, hey man, if you need help, I can go and take you there, but you should go up to the Bradley Center and go and get yourself checked out at least. So, he heeded his advice. First time in years, I heeded the advice to actually go get help. Because, I had to go and actually review the reasons why I was depressed. That's the reason why I was drinking. It wasn't because, I just like being drunk all day. Right. It's just I don't like thinking about my depression and dealing with it on a daily basis. So I'd rather be inebriated
to
cope. Yes, it was to cope with it. So I go and I actually get the in the thing, and at the center there are 4 different buildings. One for inpatient, one for the actual psychiatrist offices. There's a building for just multiple purpose therapy, group therapies, and then there's the little house that does the daily outpatient. So there are different places to go. Some of them aren't open because it was late when I actually decided to go. Excuse me. And I eventually found my way over to the inpatient side, not really understanding what I was getting into. Because first off, you had to ring the doorbell to get inside. And there were a couple of parents with their kid, and their kid had a bunch of burn marks and needle marks on its leg. And it was because of meth.
Oh shit.
Yeah, this kid had to be 16 at least.
Yeah, you said kid. I'm like,
yeah, no.
Teenager that's on fucking meth, man.
Yes. Oh, let me tell you, we can do 3 days straight of podcast for all the shit I've heard and seen. When I tell you that this is an issue and this is a problem, I mean it's a problem. Mental health in this country and how people deal with it. So, you have to ring the doorbell. Doctor comes up, scans their card, and they let us in. Give us the form, and they're some of the questions were have you had thoughts of suicide? Yes. Have you had thoughts of harming yourself? Yes. Have you had anything to drink? Yes. How much?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. I think I put down. Yeah. I think that's literally all it said. Because I'm not saying this to brag or anything, but when I drink, I'm still conscientious enough. I've never been pulled over for drunk driving. I drive more carefully. Although I still speed, but I speed more when I'm sober. Right. Because I actually recognize how stupid people and slow people go.
Oh yeah.
So, they take our form, they take us downstairs into the back, and we get a one-on-one examination or a one-on-one little question and answer with another person. And the guy that did it had the enthusiasm of a McDonald's drive-thru worker. He literally was wearing sweats, a pair of Champion shoes, and a Jordan little blazer.
Just didn't give a single one.
This nigga did not give a fuck about what you got going on.
Didn't give a single shit.
I really wish we had the cameras, but he walked in as if he was walking into a job interview for a job that he didn't really want. For
Goodwill?
Yeah, he was he sat there with his legs full spread.
Jesus Christ.
No professionalism whatsoever.
Jesus.
Now I'm getting so pissed I'm sobering up. Because I'm just
You're damn, nigga, do you want to be here, bro?
I can take your spot if you'd like.
Right. I'll fucking leave.
Yeah, dude, if I'm imposing, I'll just go ahead and leave.
Sorry.
My bad, dude. I didn't know it was about time for your break.
Sorry for your job decision.
Oh my god. It was so funny and yet so irritating. And so up to this point they take your cell phone. And that's when I uploaded a picture on Facebook that said your face when you're about to get checked into a mental hospital for alcoholism and depression.
Right.
And the guy comes in and he's just what's your name? I'm John. And he's what are you here for? Well, it's a mental health facility, so I don't think it's for a Whopper.
I would assume it's for,
some
type of
honestly,
mental illness.
I thought this was the tanning place. I must have made a wrong turn.
I walked in and signed all the wrong forms.
I
thought it was weird that they made me put my social down on a tanning bed.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Honestly, he has the fucking enthusiasm of a Geek Squad guy. It was bad. He's asking me basically the same questions that were on the application, and he gives it to the on-call doctor, and the on-call doctor is the one that determines whether you need to be admitted that day or if you were safe enough to be trusted to leave. And of course they admit me because there are 2 magic words that you cannot say. kill or suicide.
Yeah.
And it's really funny because when I got inpatient and admitted, there was a guy who got admitted who like was dealing with like drinking, but because he just couldn't get sleep, he was an insomniac, and he had got off his medicine and he tried to get back on it, but it wasn't as effective, so he started to drink. And when he was getting his question and answer, he said, "I'd kill for some sleep," and they admitted him.
Yeah, you know what? He's serious. He would actually go out there and murder somebody so
Just
they can
to
sleep. Put him in.
Just to work up a sweat so that he could get in bed,
Put
right?
him in. Lock him up.
Oh my God! When he told me that, I was like, "Wow, dude, this place does not fuck around at all." So they check you in, and they take your shoes away because it has strings. So I was walking around with socks like the first night. Just walking around on this cold ass floor for like a whole day.
With socks.
Just socks. Just socks. I was wearing I think I was wearing these shorts, as a matter of fact, some basketball shorts and a t-shirt, and that's all I wore for like the next day and a half because I didn't get out until like that following Tuesday. So I'm admitted, and you have to go and do another little face-to-face interview, and all the nurses down there were just absolutely nice. They were wonderful. It was great care and everything. Some of the patients, not so much. So I'm going in, I'm sitting down having a one-on-one talk with this nurse about like my feelings and how I'm feeling right now, what I think I need, what's going on, what's gonna happen, like the procedure around here. And this is at probably 10 at night. All of a sudden, I'm just hearing like this girl on the other end of the hallway, and it's just like, "Y'all haven't fed me." And they're like, "No, you just ate. You literally just ate. We saw you." "Well, it's snack time." "No, snack time was an hour ago. You were misbehaving, so you had to go into your room. You don't get a snack today." "Well, that's illegal, and you're gonna owe me $850 if you don't give me my snacks." Okay. I put a fucking pack of Cheez-Its in my pocket just in case, cause that bitch may have been right.
So y'all not finna starve me in here, man.
I ain't gonna starve me. And I was gonna just toss them like in secret,
right,
and be like, "I ain't getting no snacks either."
I'm large, man. I gotta eat.
Yeah, man. You gotta eat. Listen, man. I need my Cheez-Its for $850.
Just one of them. Shit.
Hey, son, you need to go and pay me.
Right.
No, like she was in serious condition. Like she was really, really messed up. I'm talking to the lady who's taking my information. This is how I know this girl is really really messed up. She walks by our door and she looks inside and talks to the nurse, and it's like, "Nurse, I need to speak with you in just a second." The nurse is like, "In a minute, honey, in a minute." "Okay, well, here's my problem. I'll talk to you in a minute, honey. In a minute, okay?" And she leans in and she looks at me. I'm just like, Jesus. No, and she's like, "Oh, hey, you're new. What's your name?" There's a nurse behind her giving the sign. I'm like, "You can call me Jay." And she's like, "Okay, Jay, well, it's nice meeting you." She was like giving her hand for a handshake, and I'm like, "That's wonderful." You know, I ain't shake her hand. I just kind of clapped in front of her and just was like this. The other nurse pulls her away. Oh, God. Okay, so I answer a few more questions. Next, all of a sudden, I hear is a bang of like a chair going against the wall. The nurse goes, "Excuse me a minute." She walks out of the room and closes the door part way, but leaves it cracked a little ways. And she's like, "I want my snack!" It's like, oh God, I don't think I need to be here. And she's like, "You need to calm down is what you need to do." This other nurse is getting pissed.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's getting violent.
Yeah, she's like getting violent. Like, all right, if you keep acting up, I'm going to call security. You're going to have to go back into the quiet room. You want to go back in there? "No, ma'am, I don't." "Well, then you need to behave. All right? Sit down, behave, and be quiet. Other people are trying to sleep because it's bedtime, right? Lights out at this time." And she's like, "Okay, I will be quiet, ma'am. I just want my Bible." the other nurse comes back in and she looks at me and she's like, and dead ass, man, she tells me this through her face, like, look, I know this isn't going to be a problem for you, but I have to tell you this out of regulation. This is a mental health facility. This ain't a place to hook up. So if anyone comes around with you, just be like, be careful. Don't do nothing. You ain't going out there, because we've seen it. We've had 2 girls in the shower. We've had guys on each other. We've had guys and girls in each other's rooms. You're not allowed to go in other people's rooms. You can only talk to them for the hallway. But even that's like disallowed.
Definitely came here for the sweet mental patient puss.
Oh yeah.
It's IRL Tinder, dog.
Oh fuck yeah, man. Swipe left every time for the nut ones. Getting nut for a reason. Nut in more ways than one, if you will. So, all right. So, last thing I'm gonna say, because I mean, really, it's a sad story, but it's funny at the same time. We're wrapping up like the interview with me and the nurse, and she's like, "All right, so you're gonna be at the end of the hall. You're gonna be with Mr. James. When you get to sleep, and your bed's already ready, you can just go and lay down." And I'm like, "Okay, thanks." And all of a sudden, I hear that bang again, and she's like, "I want my snack." And I swear to God, I heard the nurse say, "You know what? I'm tired of this shit. You're going into the quiet room."
I thought they were about to fight. I was like, you just hear furniture moving.
No. She's like, "Get security down here. We're going to give her the shot." I'm like, oh shit. The nurse, she's just kind of like staring at her computer. Just like, I'm just like, I just really want to go home.
Right,
I think I'm okay now.
I was like, you know what? After seeing this, I think I'm good.
Yeah, I think I'm good. I'll just stop by like group therapy tomorrow or something. Nope, too late.
Nah, man,
you in now.
Yeah, now for
you're one of us now.
At least 24 hours.
At least
24 of them guys.
Oh my God. And she's like, I can hear them rustling in the background, trying to restrain her. The nurse is just like, "Hold on, I gotta go." I'm like, "Oh, okay, I'll be here."
I ain't going nowhere, man.
Yeah, and it's like, I can hear the restraint is her resisting, and they're trying to put her into the quiet room, which is basically a room with no fucking handle. And the only way to open up the door is with a key.
From the
car
outside.
key, yeah. So you don't even have a handle to even make a dream with, So it's like, I can hear it, and she's like, and I can hear them dragging her into the room, and her kicking, and I can hear like the security guard, this big, bulky, like black guy,
of course,
was just like, fucking, "All right, you know what? And he just wouldn't say what. He wouldn't say what.
Do you know what? Yeah, you know. Idiot.
And she's like dragging him. She's like, "You can't put me in this room in the name of Jesus. That door is covered with the blood of the Lamb." Oh, shalababaka. I'm like, this bitch is speaking tongues.
That's such a wild ride.
That's like the first 4 hours.
But the blood of the Lamb did not keep her from getting put in that room.
Oh no, the blood of the Lamb was what got her in there. Shit. No, that quiet room wasn't very quiet. She was kicking the door, banging against it. I mean, I swear, I was just like, okay, all right, so this is different. This is a lot different than I was imagining this would be.
It's levels.
But it's okay. I'm gonna be fine. Everyone here is gonna be fine.
Yeah.
Okay? I'm gonna be fine. And I just like, before the nurse comes in, I just hear, "God damn it, she's pissing on the floor again." Nurse comes in and it's like, "All right, are you ready?" They gave me a little plate of some stuffed bell peppers. I didn't want to eat nothing. They gave some cold yellow rice.
Can I leave?
I was like, man, come on, dog.
Can I just leave?
I just want to, all right. So I'm like, all right, fine. I'm here, okay? At least take advantage of the moment. Get some help.
Get some free food.
All right, get some help, all right? They give me a pill for some detox, for get alcohol out of your system, right? They give me a pill. They prescribe me some detox stuff. And then they sent me to my room with a guy that's there. And I lay down on this bed that is, I swear to God, like 4 feet wide and 6 feet long. the bed had the consistency of a wooden table.
So you could only lay in one position on that bitch.
Oh yeah, if I turned on my back, I'd fall out. Like the pillow, I swear to God, must have been like a bunch of shirts. I've slept on shirts that were more comfortable.
A bunch of shirts just balled up.
The blanket was about this thin. The sheet was even thinner.
Jesus.
I mean, it was just bad.
It was not comfortable.
Yeah, I laid down and I'm just like this. This is not good.
No, this is not.
This is not the position I've ever wanted to be in my whole life. Because I felt like, man, this must be like what jail feels like. Okay, because you're being told where you go, you're being told what to do. You got to brew with whoever they tell you to.
Literally diet jail.
You do not get your own shoes, no socks. Well, no, I brought my socks in, thank God.
Right.
Thank God I didn't come in there barefoot.
Would have been fucked
Or
up.
if I didn't wear any socks in, that would have been fucked up shit. I'd had to show my ugly ass feet around there. But I'm like, all right, you know what? I put myself in this position. Let me just go ahead and use this and take advantage of it. And I lay down. I cover myself up. I close my eyes. All of a sudden, from across the room, I hear.
Was it somebody else in another room?
Yeah, no, it was my roommate.
Oh my God.
Right across the room, the loudest snoring, and he had like 3 different varieties of snoring.
Oh my God.
So my mind is not only like awake, it's analyzing which snore is coming up, and I'm making bets with myself.
Patterns and shit.
Yeah, to see if maybe I can guess what pattern is going on. And I'm like, it's like 12 o'clock in the morning. I can't even sleep. I get up and I just start walking back and forth in this big like open area where the patients can sit during the day. And I'm just walking around in circles. I did that for like an hour. I just walked in a circle for an hour. And I sat down on the couch and tried to close my eyes and get some sleep. I stayed out there till like 6 in the morning. Because when I tried to go back in there, his snores were getting louder.
Yeah, fuck
And
that.
he added like at least one more, I think. If my memory serves correctly.
Like, if you weren't in a mental institution, I would say, like, hit him with a pillow and, like, tell him to shut the fuck up.
Oh no, that'll catch you 3 more days.
I was like, that 3 more days and you might not have made it out.
Oh yeah, I may have had a roommate in the quiet room.
Right.
That would have been not okay. So, like, and he starts talking to himself too. Like, I mean, full ass conversations while he's sleeping. So, and he's loud, and so I'm just like, I can't sleep like this. So I'm just gonna sleep on the couch. You can't bring your blanket out there, of course.
Right.
So I'm just sitting there with my hands tucked inside of my shirt because they keep it unbearably cold in the whole facility. And I'm sitting there with my basketball shorts, my hands inside of a t-shirt, and socks, trying to get some sleep on the couch. Not a long couch, like a love seat.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there with my neck
Uncomfortable
bent
as
up back.
fuck.
And so it's one of those nights where you're just like, this is possibly the worst thing I could have ever imagined. Because for me, there's nothing better than like having the freedom to do what you want. I've been on my own since like 18. I moved out of my parents' house, so I've had relative freedom to a certain extent since then. This sucked. This sucked bad.
Hard.
I mean, like, okay, so it's fucking like 6 o'clock in the morning, and I've gotten maybe 45 minutes of sleep off of like drinking through a whole bottle of vodka, so I was like sobering up and all this other shit, and he comes out, my roommate comes out of the room, and I'm like, thank God. I fucking run back to my fucking bedroom, and I lay down.
Full sprint, that bitch.
I mean, I swear to God, I went down and I laid down, and that 4-foot by 6-foot bed was the most comfortable shit I ever had.
It's a river in a desert, man.
Oh my God, like
It's a river in a desert.
I swear to God, like, and like breakfast, right? Breakfast was served at like 8 o'clock, 8:30. So the nurses came and woke me up for breakfast, and I'm like, all right, cool. I guess I should get something to eat. Because here's how they do things over there, right? When you're admitted to a mental hospital, you're assigned a doctor, a psychiatrist that's going to review your case or whatever. And like I was there with the doctor, or I didn't meet my doctor until like later on Monday, I think. And When I met the doctor, I told him basically, I was drinking for my depression. Like, that's what I was there for. I wanted to get help for my depression, see a therapist, and talk about these things because the incident that occurred in my childhood, I can say it more openly now, which was molestation. Okay, babysitter, got me and my brothers.
Right.
All right, I'm putting it out there. Whoever wants to hear it, that's me. That's my story. Keeping that inside for 20 years, it does something to you.
Of course.
So you have to talk about these things and get it out. And that's what I told my doctor. Like, I want to talk about these things with therapy. But they wanted me in for detox. Alcohol detox for alcoholism. That gives you 5 days minimum.
Jesus fucking Christ.
I'm like, I'm not staying in here for 5 days.
Staying there 5 days, dog.
I'm not doing that. Okay? My rent is due literally tomorrow.
And like those 4 days after it.
Yeah.
Fees.
Yeah.
Fees galore.
I mean, like, I'm already missing work. My check came in on Friday. It was 24 hours of unpaid time. Less.
It's trash.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, I didn't even get a full check.
Yeah. I was like, that's what, 3 shifts? 3 days?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God. Like,
I'm going to die.
This is the worst case scenario, doctor. I can't do 5.
Right.
Okay. So, and he understood. My doctor, my psychiatrist, is fucking perfect. Because I was talking about, like, usually when I would drink, like, when I'm not depressed, or when I'm not as depressed, and when I can function highly, I would only drink, like, 3 glasses. Like, I wouldn't drink, like, real heavy. Like, I would just drink, like, at the end of the day to unwind, because I'm doing something all day. I'm playing piano, I'm playing guitar, I'm working, I'm watching YouTube, or playing a video game or something to keep myself distracted and busy. And he's like, oh yeah, I do that too. I'm like, well, do you think that I should probably stop drinking altogether? He's like, it's not gonna hurt you. Like, okay,
slow down.
Yeah, just be under control. And I think that therapy will help you get that control in place. I'm like, thank you for understanding. So I can get you out of here probably around tomorrow, around noon, or maybe 2 o'clock. I'm like, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, so that was like, there's a lot of stories that we can go into for the fucking thing, but I do want to try and at least keep it thematically on the more serious side, at least for the beginning, and we may come out to some more funnier stories later on. But I mean, really, like, it was a really good time once I actually got the chance to talk with therapists about things and what I had to do in order to move on and to make actual changes in my life in order to actually make my life better and to fight my depression. That was some of the best time. And I was going to therapy after I got discharged from inpatient. I was required to go to outpatient therapy. That's what they recommended for me. And I also got some not necessarily antidepressant, but like a mood regulator pill prescription that I have to fill out today. So that is basically in a nutshell how this whole thing started. That was during the first week. Like, the rest of the week I'm going to outpatient therapy. We're talking about things, and the next week it's just kind of staying on a routine. And I've learned different things about, like, myself. Like, I have to have a routine.
Right.
If I don't have a routine, like a schedule throughout the day, it lends me more towards drinking because I'm just like, I feel like I'm losing control.
So essentially just not necessarily keeping busy, but just keeping shit in order.
Keeping it in order, I think, is the best way to put it. Because, like, when I have free time, I have to go and do, like, when I do what I want to do, but I was trying to stretch myself thin because of low self-worth and low value of myself because of earlier trauma.
Right.
So I was trying to stretch myself thin. That's the reason why I was working so much. Like, up to that point, I worked 60-hour weeks every week for about 3 months at my job. And was still trying to learn how to play piano and still trying to learn how to play guitar. Doing all this stuff, stretching myself so thin mentally. And still coming up doing the podcast.
Right.
You know? So I'm doing all of this stuff and it's like just trying to compensate for all this shit that I thought how low I feel about myself. And so one of the big things was forgiveness. Forgiving the attacker simply because it's affecting you more than them. Like, I know where that person is right now, what they're doing. They have a Facebook. I can find them.
Oh, shit.
But I had to write like a letter saying that I forgave them. And that was the hardest thing. Like, this was on the inpatient side. We still did group therapy.
Right.
And like the person who was running that thing was going around the room and telling people about who they would forgive or what this. She comes around to me and I can't even get the words out. I just break down into tears and I have to leave. She comes up to me afterwards and it's like, you remind me of myself, because she herself had been raped by her uncles, right? And nobody would believe her, like her own family. And so it's like she had to write a letter to her uncles and say that, you know, you're a big piece of shit. You're a fucking loser who should be in jail and locked away. But I forgive you because I need to move on.
Right.
And she burned the letter after she wrote it. And she was like, I want you to do the same. And so, like, I go home, or I go and I got the notepad from someone from behind the little walls, the nursing station. I got like a little notebook and a pen. And I just start writing out this fucking letter. I may have done it after I got home. Yeah, you know what? That was actually one of the first things I did when I got home. After I got discharged, because I got discharged either that next day, I think. And so after I go home, pay my bills, call my boss, tell her what's going on, because, you know, I couldn't call anyone. They had phone times.
Right.
You had to bring out like 3 phones and wait in line before, like, I mean, prison.
I told you, it's diet jail.
It is diet jail. Not even kidding. And I didn't have my phone, so I didn't have my contacts.
Didn't do anything.
So I had to call security, or the nurses, excuse me. I couldn't call shit. The nurses had to call security to have them get permission to take my phone down so I could write down the numbers. Not even use my phone.
Right.
Write down the numbers, and they're just watching me like a hawk as I'm writing it down to make sure I'm not like on Facebook or texting or anything like that. And I'm writing down the number, and I write down a number for my boss, I write down a number for Paul, and I write down a number for my dad. And I give my dad a call, I leave a message. I called my boss, told her what was going on, and I called Paul, and I told him what was going on, just so I have people on the outside knowing I'm okay, I'm alive, I'm just in diet jail. But no, forgiveness is the hardest thing, but it's also one of the most important steps, because after that point, it was like, now I've allowed myself the freedom to actually make changes and do things to a more positive light, and actually take control of my life from that point on.
Right.
And so that's what was going on. That's what was happening. I was in what I used to call the funny farm, and was getting help. But after those 2 days, I started going to outpatient therapy and met some of the most beautiful and wonderful people, both who were actual like recovering alcoholics, like people who were just druggies who were on coke and are trying to stay off of it. People who were abused when they were kids too. Like, people who were abused by their own family members, and when they told their family members, they just tried to brush it under the rug.
Yeah, that whole generation of folks.
Yeah, like it's kind of scary, because like all these people, some of them were younger than me, some were older, but we all had like the same story.
Right.
So it's like we all get together in these groups and we just open up. And I was thinking about this on the way home, because there was a really beautiful moment that occurred yesterday, because we had like show and tell. And like you had to show something off, or just like something that you did or something like that. And one of the girls that I've met there, she told a really beautiful story about her and her sister, and how like there was a drug incident involved, and how like it was tearing their family apart. But she still loved her sister, and her sister was like not there anymore, in the sense that she didn't want anything to do with her because of the issue. I don't want to get into too many details, but it was just a really touching story, because she still had this faith that her family can be put back together. And I was thinking on the way home, I'm like, when human beings can actually gather together and drop any sort of facade and just be, it can be just beautiful.
Yeah.
We can be beautiful if we just learn to drop all this other shit, be honest, admit when you are weak, admit when you have problems, admit when you need to make a change. And you can do it, and it will just be like a big ass load off of your shoulders.
All right.
So that's what it is now. I feel better than I have felt in years. I'm going to continue going to group therapy. I'm going to go and see my psychiatrist regularly and take my medicine.
That's good.
Nurses, if you're listening, I'm taking them.
Oh my God.
All right, I'm going to take them.
I'm glad that you're out. You're good.
Yeah.
You got the help you need. Like that, the critical first step, man. Like that's what it is. It's like admitting, not even that you have the issue, just that you can't do it alone.
Yes.
And like even then, man, like there are some times where I'm just like, you know what? Fuck it.
Yeah. That's serious. Like we would make jokes about it.
Right.
You know, that's another little coping mechanism. We kind of make light of it, but it's serious. It's a dead serious thing. People need help and they need to go and get it, but because of the culture or just stigma or whatever the hell, they choose not to go and get it and just think that they can either, especially with men, seeing how men are killing themselves more than women nowadays, trying to hold that shit in.
I'm like, you gotta let go, man. Like there comes a point where it's
alright to just be human,
right? To be vulnerable.
Yeah,
like I don't understand like why that's looked at in a negative light.
I mean,
to like admit that you can't do something
yeah.
by yourself, or that you don't have the fortitude to do it.
Yes, I mean, especially when it comes to your mental health, you're like, right. I mean, you can't change the past, but like you're living in your now, but you're letting that past thing dictate how you live your life right now.
Right.
And so then you go like, well, what do I do? How do I do it? You're not going to figure it out on your own.
You just won't.
No, I mean, you're just going to go right back to the coping mechanism. Mm-hmm. That's what you did.
Because that's what's comfortable. That's what you know.
I get to forget for at least a night. I get to forget the demons and quiet the voices.
And then you gotta keep doing that because it's unrelenting, man.
Oh, I swear it's unrelenting.
Yeah, like just past traumas that you never got over, depression, anxiety, like that shit, it just never really fades until you properly address it.
Yeah. It's tough. It's tough to listen to. It's tough. It's hard to openly admit in front of people for the first time that you had that thing, and because of that shame that you feel. But it's like once you admit it, then you go, why was I feeling ashamed about something that occurred to me?
Right.
Like a crime really occurring against me.
Because you only get one you, man, and you gotta do everything in your power to take care of that.
Yeah,
especially from a mental standpoint.
Oh yeah, like it's a healthy selfishness.
Right, because we are both male, we are both black.
Yes.
So I mean, it's that much more. It's that much more important as well, or it's that much more stigmatized as well as crucial that we kind of take the steps that we need to. Like, even if you don't think you have any issues, like it's never a bad thing to talk to somebody close or a therapist about
like
something that you just have questions about.
Just talking about it.
Right.
Just
putting it in the air.
Yeah, putting it out there. Like the best part about group therapy that I've learned, even when there were new people coming in and out, is that we all had basically the same story.
Similar stories.
Like different varying degrees, but we're all still here and we all need help. And we all took that first step. That's the common element that's the common element between all of us, is that we got brave enough, bold enough. Some of us a little bit more against our will, but still we went there and we took that step.
Right.
And that is what's the most important, because it's not like there's gonna be someone who goes there and goes fucking just get over it. Not in a mental hospital. Not like that. Everyone here understands.
That's what your friends that don't want to talk about it do.
Yeah, like that's what they would do. And I mean, you don't need those people in your life, so I would encourage you to get them out if that's actually occurring.
Right.
But no, everyone inside of a group therapy room will be there to support you. And they want to support you because helping you helps themselves. Showing gratitude and appreciation for people who are showing their strength to go and do better, that's all going to help in the end. And it turns out to be very beautiful. Yeah. And I mean, like I said, I had a vacation actually scheduled for the end of this month, but I've had to use that time for this therapy, and I regret it. I don't regret it one bit.
At all.
That is like, this has been like the best 2 weeks of my life. I actually got to learn who the hell I was. And that is something that a lot of people need to do.
And I'm glad, man. I'm glad you had that self-discovery. I think a lot of us are like just in a period of like just figuring ourselves out. And it's good because I don't really like to put a time limit on those things, because I've always been a late bloomer regardless.
Right.
But like now it's just throughout my teenage years and early 20s, like there were the questions, and now it's just all right. Now we're starting to like get the answers.
Right.
Like the closer I get to 30, and that's just it's liberating, man. Like I feel like you can actually live the life that you've wanted to all these years.
Yeah.
Once you start making those decisions and taking those steps.
Yeah, I mean, it's like once you actually start taking control of your life, you can actually start living the motherfucker.
Because like the but just disappears. It's like, I want to live my life, but I want to do this, but
I had this happen.
Right,
I had this happen. I'm thinking this.
What would they think if this? Fuck that, man.
Yeah, those are the thoughts that you gotta fight.
Right.
Like, those thoughts go through my head every day, even after therapy. The thing is, it's like, the thing that I learned is that this is like gonna be a daily thing.
Yeah, it's progressive. It's not like the end all be all.
Right.
It's not, an instant fix. It's like, it's kind of like exercising and diet. Like, you have to do both of them, and you have to be consistent with both of them if you want the results.
If you want the results, and that's the thing. Like, you have to first off find value in yourself, so that you know that the results are going to be worth it. Then it's like every day, make sure you're keeping track of your own mind. It's like people who track their calories, or something throughout the day, or how much they walk, or their heart rate, or heart rate and shit.
Because you constantly have to look at how far you've come, not how far you have left to go.
Yes, exactly.
And like that's the biggest piece of it, because a lot of people look at like, well, I'm still not where I want to be, and that's fine, but you're not where you were.
Exactly.
And that's what a lot of people
important
forget.
Part.
Like you're not where you were three months ago, 2 months ago, yesterday. Hell,
right.
Like it's just it's constant, man. You just gotta be consistent and keep it going until you feel like you're exactly where you want to be, and even then, it never hurts to have just regular checks.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. It's like this is something that group therapy. One of the things that they wanted to tell us was, it doesn't stop once you're discharged. This is where it starts.
Right.
So you're gonna have to continue going to group therapy. Make those connections so that when you feel like you're about to crumble or you're about to fall back or relapse or something, you have someone that you can call that will be supportive. And I made so many good connections with so many good people that I love dearly, and like, don't be afraid to ask for help. Like, if you go back, because like sometimes the embarrassment comes from folks who got help and they were good, they were doing well, but then they kind of backslid or whatever.
They relapse,
and then
it's part of the process.
Yeah, and so it's like they get embarrassed to go back. It's like no.
That's what it's there for.
That's what it is there for. Please don't give up. That's all it is. Don't give up on nothing. Because you are worth it. I promise you're worth it.
We believe. We just had to prank y'all at the beginning. For those 15 seconds of silence. I'm willing to bet somebody turned their volume up and then probably blew a speaker when we both started screaming.
Oh, I hope so. That's the whole point of it.
I'm almost certain they did that.
We're affecting your lives right now.
And then like they get to this part and it's like, hi, those sons of bitches.
It's just like, they were fucking, they blew my speaker out, then they gave us, dropped some wisdom, and now
they're making fun of us.
Oh, well.
Yeah, it's the sandwich, man. Like, you gotta start it off, segue in, drop the heavy shit, and then leave on the light note.
Oh, yeah. Well, we're back.
Yeah.
We are back. Regularly scheduled, same bat time.
Yeah, same bat channel, same bat.
Same
black
channel. Yeah.
Black.
Same black channel. Not BET though.
No, it's white owned. It's fucking.
Monisha.
It's sad.
Monisha.
The Parkers.
Jamie Foxx show. That was the one that we used to watch all the time.
My girlfriends.
Ooh, ugh.